basically, I'm here to get your side of the story because David Rajuili's had his say. I don't know if you've seen the interview.
Yeah, I watched it.
What's your side of the whole story? Like, where did this whole glove situation begin?
Okay, I can start here from the start. We obviously agreed on a course for the fight, and everything was smooth and went ahead. I had a friend of mine help me, and we booked his flights, accommodation, and everything we needed to do. So we'll go from the start. He got there Thursday night. He got there Thursday afternoon. I got there Thursday night. And when we got there, when I originally rang up to book the hotel, I couldn't do. The hotel told me I can't pay for it in advance. You have to be there with the credit card to pay for it. So he obviously got there probably about 2 hours before me. And I got a phone call when I got off the plane saying, David's giving out, you can't check into the hotel. And I goes, well, just tell them to check him in. I'll pay for it when I get there. So when I got to the hotel, when I got down to the hotel, he was in the lobby. He wasn't there. I checked in. That was that. I didn't hear from that. It was late. In fairness, it was late Thursday night to get over. Thursday night. It was late Thursday night when we got over, and it was just really went to bed. Didn't hear nothing from him. The next day. His management team gone to my friend and saying the hotel's not paid for. They're giving out. His coach said he's gonna leave because the hotel's not paid for. And I goes, I am paying for the hotel, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's my credit card. I'm paying for the hotel, like. So I got hold on. I got onto the. I went down and paid for the hotel. Well, his coach was saying, we're going to leave. We're leaving. The hotel's not paid for. We're not fine. We're leaving already. I was like, his management team were on to me and was saying to David, relax. Like, you're making a big deal. They know Declan. Declan's going to pay for this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at that. I want the fight. You understand? I went and got this opponent. Of course, I wanted the fight. You know what I mean? So then went to pay the hotel. That was all right. His management got, and then I haven't heard from him. I have no contact from him. So we have a middleman in between us. And he goes, he needs money for his weekly food. I goes, that was no problem. I sent him 50 quid that day for his food. He was getting 50 quid a day. He was, as well as I included breakfast. And the first day I wasn't included with breakfast. I didn't know that at the time. But when I went down to the reception. Sorry, I need a charger. Sorry, my phone just about to go down. I have to get back in. So I went down to the reception and added on breakfast. And he also got 100 quid. He was complaining to the promoter saying I only gave him 50 quid, but I was giving him 50 quid a day for his food bill, as well as putting his breakfast on board as well. Which as I've gone away to tournaments, I've gone away as a fighter. Even when I'm getting paid by the promoter, I wouldn't be getting that much myself, you know what I mean? So he was lying saying he got 150 quid, but he's lying said he only got 50 as well as breakfast included in his food. So that was a lie what he was saying about this. But when I was watching the interview, he was saying about it's an hour drive to the weigh-in. Yes, but he didn't say that I stayed in the same hotel as him. That's why he left out.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, this is why he's leaving out all lies. Like, I actually stayed in the same hotel as him. So he's making out like he didn't know about this. Like, I had transport organised for him and his coach to get brought down to the weigh-in and to the venue, but they didn't want that. They wanted to go and get their own car, and then was saying to me, I have to give them petrol money. They wanted me to actually pay for his car and pay for his petrol money, but I've agreed to his manager to pay for his petrol money if he wanted to get his car himself, even though I organised that I do his transport. So he's leaving out all these little lies, you know what I mean? Like, we stayed in the same hotel. So he knew the weigh-in was 2:00 and we knew the weigh-in was 2:00. And he was saying, it was a misunderstanding because of language barriers, this, that, and the other, which that's your fault, no one else's fault. That's your fault that the information has been sent and he arrived an hour late. I arrived there at 10 to 2 on time, even though the weigh-in was 2:00. I arrived there 10 minutes early and got there. And I weighed in, and no one told me he hasn't been here yet. He's relying, delaying late or whatever else, because there's times I have of came into where they haven't been massive big profile, like the likes of when I fought John O'Carroll or Archie Sharp. They were big bills, so we've weighed in the same time. But there's sometimes where I weighed in the opponent, or he weighed in later on that afternoon, or whatever delay was. It wasn't waiting around. I weighed in. I was never told he was going to be late or how long he was going to be. I was told he just hasn't arrived yet. So away didn't got out of the way. So he's lying about, he's leaving out things like down the lines of, oh, we had to stay an hour away from the venue. Yes, I stayed in the same hotel as you. You know what I mean? You're leaving that out there, so you're making it look like I stayed in the hotel where the weigh-in was, which is not true when we stayed in the same place. So that was one thing. So he lied about his food bill. Breakfast also was included in his, in his hotel, and then he was demanding, he wanted to get his own transport, his own car, and his own petrol. He wanted me to pay for his car and petrol money instead of me. When I've organised, when I rented the bus out, I rented a bus for me. I was actually going to get me to go down first or him to go down first, whatever. It didn't matter who was brought down first. Someone else to be, us to get brought down as well. Everything was organised for him to get brought down. He wanted his own car, so that was the. He was moaning about the food bill, which he got the money for the food bill, and he moaned about saying he had an hour's drive, and then also he was moaning about the hotel, what was paid for as well. What his hotel was paid for as well. So these were all things as well. And then it came down to he said about he's saying about he was overweight. This is his allegation. This is what he's saying. I can't say that, but all I know is I couldn't see me weighing in, which I did, me weighing in 63.5 as the home fighter, even though you want to call the A side or the home fighter, whatever it is, because I'm paying for this. So he's coming as an opponent, even though the belt is faking. Why would the promoter lie to me about him being overweight when I'm on weight, which I couldn't see right, you know what I mean? So I don't believe what he's saying, because I've already come out with so many lies, and as we talk about them, you will see the lies he's being caught out with. So that was one thing. So the weigh-in was out of the way. That was it. I didn't hear none. We were originally going through the gloves at the weigh-in, but he didn't show up. So we goes, we'll do it on the day of the meeting. You know what I mean? I wasn't waiting around for him. I wanted to go and get food. I made weight. I was hard enough to make weight. I wasn't sitting around waiting for him. His manager actually got on to me the day before the weigh-in and asked me, goes, Deco, do you have a scales? So that was unprofessional. It was him. Do you have a end of a scales to see what's weighing? I'm like, I'm not helping this fella. I'm not giving him any advantage. That's his own business. Look after himself. You know what I mean? I'm an adult. He's an adult. You should have all this stuff yourself. So he was saying about everything being on professionalism, but he didn't bring his own scales. You know what I mean? That was another thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's a common knowledge thing. You bring a scales when you're making title fight. You have to make the same way so you be there. So that was that. Then he's saying about going down to the venue. It was said on box record. It was on box record in the contract where they said the hotel was just for example, say it was a hotel check it was, but the hotel wasn't check B. It was an 8-minute drive from the two different hotels. And we, as I said, we stayed in the same hotel. And it was a 50-minute drive from the hotel. Both of us were staying in to the venue. So we actually drove down to the same hotel we thought we were originally fighting. So that's the hotel he went to. So both of us arrived at the same hotel, which we thought the venue was going to be, but wasn't there. But it was an 8-minute drive, and the difference, I wasn't going to kick up. I wasn't going to moan at the promoter. Why was this? It's an 8-minute drive. I'm not going to cry about an 8-minute add-on. So all together was a 50-minute drive. So what he's giving out about is I had to do the exact same what he had to do. So why are you complaining where I'm not getting advantage over you? I'm doing exactly what you were doing. You know what I mean? You there? Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's my side. I just think you read, but I heard everything you just said. But when it came to the gloves, right? Okay. When it came to the next day, when it came to the gloves, like what happened there? Because I heard that you guys did try get a new pair of gloves going, and then David had said that his mind wasn't in it.
I did everything for this, man. I'll tell you exactly. Yeah, I'll tell you exactly. So there was 4 pairs of gloves down on the table, which one of them they're kind of a thick pair, but they're 8-ounce gloves, but they have a lot of padding. I've damaged hands, and I'm afraid to wear more padded gloves, you know what I mean? He's a small fighter. I know I'm going to hit him an awful lot in the head, but he ducks very low. So I wanted to have extra padding. He goes, I'm not wearing them. They're 10 ounces. They're not even 8 ounces. And I'm like, I'm wearing them gloves. Like, if I can choose, they're the gloves I want to choose, you know? I basically saying to him, I want the most padded gloves, but he already saying to them, they're not even 8-ounce gloves. They shouldn't be there. I'm like, don't worry about them. If you don't want to wear them, don't worry, because I'm happy to wear them because there's more padding in my hands. I suffer from awful hand problems. But he was like, they're not even 8-ounce. I'm like, it says 8-ounce on them. Do you think I brought a pair of gloves on and put a pair of stitching on? If anything, they're bigger gloves. So why would you be moaning about if I'm wearing them? Do you know what I mean? the other pair were top pro gloves, which are gloves for near enough everyone in Ireland kind of wears. A lot of my friends have fought with them in title fights, which are actually great gloves. The gloves I wore in the end, they're the gloves I actually wanted them. I wore them gloves in the end because of the pound I originally, what I did fight in the end was the same size as me. So I knew it wasn't going to be punching down. So I knew I was going to work the body, which I did the whole fight. I'll get into that. So, and then the promoter supplied another 2 pairs of gloves. So that was 4 gloves he had on the table and he wasn't happy with. And it doesn't state in the UBO that they have to be brand new gloves, which they were all really good gloves. All 4 of them are perfect gloves. Like I said, I suffer with my hands. I do not want to be with boxing with no padded gloves. This to me is a tune-up fight. This was just to get some cobwebs off. I have an awful lot bigger like steps than do what this is. So why would I want to be holding my hands when I'm going to damage my hands when I'm not going to be able to fight for a number of weeks, which makes no sense because I've already had other fights lined up in November. I wanted to get out in November. So why am I going to hold my hands? And anyone who knows me knows I suffer with hands. Like I wear 16 to 18 ounce gloves Spartan just to have the extra padding so I don't hurt. So the 4 gloves are perfectly fine in my book. Then it went from, I goes, look, I'm picking first on the A side. I'm paying you. I'm not getting no money out of this. I'm paying you. He was like, no. He says in your interview, he argued about flipping the coin. And then all of a sudden he said, when I goes, all right, you flip the coin, he's like, I don't care now. I was like, so why did you argue that you wanted to flip the coin? Now you're telling me you don't care. Instead of saying, no, the 4 gloves ain't right in the first place, but you argued to flip the coin. It was just like a power struggle with him, you know what I mean? All the way through. So I said, look, he had a few sponsors over there, and the sponsors were all right. They were all right. They were all right because he came on and goes, Declan wants to flip a coin because he was going on when he was saying, no, I'm picking the gloves first. I was like, no, mate. I didn't even get in an argument because I was like, I'm not stressing myself over something so small, you know what I mean? Like, the worst comes to worst, he wants to pick gloves first. Do I really care what gloves I wear? No, I want the most padded gloves to protect my hands. That's the only thing. But if you wanted them, which he told me he didn't even want them, that's the worst comes out. I'll wear the top pro gloves, which I would have preferred, and the red ones were more padded than them. So in any way, his team came over to me and goes, he wants to flip a coin. I agreed, all right, we'll flip a coin. Then he told me he doesn't want to flip a coin, so he's contradicting himself. No, not that. He left this out there. Then he left that. I actually said to him, all right, you actually choose what glove you want first. Don't mind flipping a coin. Choose what glove you want to chip. And I go second. So I went from that, and he goes, no, I'm not fighting any of these gloves. I'm like, you're not arguing about we wanted to flip a coin. I agreed to flip a coin. Then I agreed to let you pick four. And then I still not. So then I goes, what do you want me to do, like here? And then I actually went up to the girls who just actually opened up the gloves, a pair of Adidas gloves and a pair of Everlasting gloves, and goes to the girls, do you mind if I wear these gloves after you? And I'll give you money for letting us use them and hand them back to you, just to get this fight over the line. And I brought him up to show him the gloves. Now, he's saying about him being stressed out about this, but he's giving me the problem and I'm coming up with the solution. So what's worse when someone's moaning at you and you're listening to it and have to come up with a solution than there's someone who's moaning at you, you know what I mean? I'm like, so I'm coming up with all the solutions to do everything. So if anything, anyone's stressed, it should be me who's stressed. But I'm like, I'm not letting this affect me, you know what I mean? It was like he was trying to play mind games. Like, he wanted the gloves, then he wanted to flip the coin, and then he didn't want to flip the coin, and he wanted to pick first choice, and then he didn't want to pick. I was like playing games here, and he was moaning at the stage. He was moaning about the hotel, what I told you was paid for. He was saying about the venue was different. I was like, I went to the same venue. It's 8 minutes. If you Google it, it's 8 minutes in the difference. 8 minutes in the difference. So then I brought him to show the gloves. He goes, yeah, that's fine. I have to say it to my coach. He goes, no, I've no coach. But his coach was, as he did say, his coach was sitting in the car park, which his coach was sitting in the car park. His coach was very rude. He had a bad manner all through the whole lot. He had a bad manner all the way through. He did not speak English, but his manner in general was bad. Bad tone he had. He was very disrespectful to the promoter. When he's saying to the promoter and the government, the Czech body was screaming at him. No, because he's forgetting. I had a friend over there recording everything, and I have all this on footage. So he's caught out with his lies, you know what I mean? So you still there? I think I'll be free. Yeah.
Yes.
So
no, I'm here.
So no. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were frozen. So no one was screaming at him where he's saying people are screaming at, which is all complete and utter lies. Like I said, I have this recorded. If anything, the sponsors who came in, there was 4 of them. They were big lads. They came in with a bit of like they were a bit intimidating, you know. I mean, I was sitting there, I goes, if this is like his bouncers or something. I didn't know who they were responsible. I goes, these are big lads, and came a bit intimidated. And I actually got up because I'm a kind of fella, I'm a small fella, but stand up to someone and say, I'll go over and approach them, you know, me myself, to say, like, the feel, what are they trying to intimidate me here? And they were actually all right, got speaking, and they were fine people. So no one was screaming at anyone. Like, if anything, he actually had more people there than what I had. So no one was screaming at him. So that was all lies. So then I went from a show in the gloves, and he said, yeah, that's fine. And he said, I have no coach. I'm like, a coach is out in the car park, you know what I mean? And then I turned around and said, do you know what? Take my coach. I'll go without a coach. What do you want me to do, man? I'm willing to go without a coach. If you don't have a coach to do a corner, take my coach. I couldn't really care. Like, you know what I mean? And then he was like, no, my head's not in it now. My head's not in it. I was like, would you fight under these circumstances? I goes, yeah, of course I would. I goes, you're giving me the problems and I'm solving the problems. So I'm more stressed than you, but I'm still like, I'll fight. I'll go with no coach. You pick the gloves, whatever you want. The promoter paused the whole show for to solve all this out. So we could have fighting in an hour's time, 2 hours time, 3 hours time, 4 hours time if it needed to be. The promoter, it was no big deal. So that was that. He said, no, I'm not getting paid enough money for this, he said to me. I'm like, you were at that green on your post weeks ago. You were at the green on your post weeks ago. And now you're telling me that you're not getting paid enough money, you know what I mean? Then he starts saying, I'll pay you 10 times more this money, but and I'm sitting there and saying, okay, like I'm not like I'm an easygoing fella. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll pay you 10 times more this money. I'm like, you're moaning about, you're saying your hotel wasn't paid for, which was, you're saying about the €50 a day wasn't enough. And you're telling me money's not an option, but you're moaning to me about money. You're contradicting yourself by what you're saying. So then what happened then was he ended up leaving. And the promoter paused the show, and there was like another 2 or 3 more bouts meant to happen. I think it could have been another 2 more bouts because the promoter actually said to me when he was moaning about the glove, Deco, forget about him. I have a opponent there. I'll pull the opponent he was originally meant to fight, and you can fight this opponent. The opponent was 2-0, undefeated. He did his medicals that day. He was originally meant to be on the card as the A side, so I'd assume he was expected to win the build of his record more. So the opponent, so he was saying the opponent was, he made allegations saying that the opponent was suspended. Yes, he got suspended after I stopped him. As you know, when you get stopped, you can't fight in. I think it's a month, 6 weeks. I'm not really sure what the time frame is, but you get suspended. I've got suspended myself when I'm being knocked out, and I'm sure David got suspended as well. So he's like, the opponent you fought was suspended. It's not even a contest. So like, no, he got suspended after the beating. So that's a lie he's saying as well. Then what happened was, so the opponent stopped the show and told I don't know who I fought. Just say his name was Sam. Just say he said, Sam, your fight is getting delayed because you might be fighting Declan instead. If you fancy your opportunity where you get paid more money, you'll be able to fight for the UBO world title, the whole lot. And he said, yeah, no problem. I'm willing to pause my fight as well and see what happens with Declan and solve the problem. So in anyway, he didn't fight. We got a different opponent. We got, I think it was a half an hour before or 10 minutes, half an hour, 15 minutes before we got in the ring. The UBO friend goes, yes, we understand the situation here. We'll pass this fight. No problem, he said to us. We have an email saying to pass the fight. The opponents, as Sam says, his name is Sam, his medicals were all checked. He got past the UBO and we fought. Also, I want to reflect on is I fought in the World Championships, European Championships as an amateur, Olympic test events. I fought for the IBF European Champion title, IBF European title, IBF Intercontinental, UBO European title, and the Irish title. And I've done all great medicals as well as fought in other big shows. I fought for an English title as well. I fought for as well. So I fought for 4 or 5 titles. And the medicals what I did were the same medicals what I did then. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm getting at. Like, this was no different. Like, he was making like.
He was saying about his medical though. Like, he apparently, like, it was in the interview. Like the doctor just looked at him, rubbed his nipples, and then said he was okay. Like, what was your reply to that? Did you see that happening?
Yeah, I got me blood. He said not only blood pressure what I got taken, he said something else he did that what he's never got before, and I was like, I've never got that at all. I don't know what it was. And urine. He said urine. I've never got a urine medical before ever. And he was like, they didn't do a urine sample, yes, but I've never got it before, and I've fought a bazillion times where level you fought at, so I've never got urine sample. We did get our blood take, or we did get our blood pressure take, and we did check me knuckles, checked all of them. We did everything correct. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so you're lying about that because I got it. So why would you not get it and we use the same doctor? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. So, and the check board were perfect to work out. He's saying that none of them spoke English. Yes, they checked. They don't speak English. We had a translator. The promoter's a translator. What's the big deal? He's translating. They did the rules meeting. Like I said, I fought on them 3 or 4 big titles. It was the same rules meeting. They talked about knockdown, clash. They actually said to us, if you get a cut by accidental hook before 4 rounds, it's no contest. They said all that what I've got all before, no contest. It has to go past 4 rounds as an accidental cut before they go to the judges. They said it was a knock. They actually said it was a knockdown. It does not a three knockdown. You know how sometimes you knock down 3 times the fight's over. They said they explained if you get knocked down 3 times in the round, it's not a fight over. You can still fight on. They explained everything perfect. The translator, the promoter Martin was perfect to work with. He explained everything correctly. But as you can see, I'm telling the story, and I have footage to back up an awful lot of what I'm at the same, because someone was recording, someone's not. You can see that this man was a diva. He was a diva. His management even got annoyed with how much believe it or not, he asked for a hotel in the new he asked for me to pay for a room in the new hotel we were boxing in to sit up and rest. So he wanted to get a hotel room in this new hotel what we're at the driving down to get. And I'm like, I'm not even buying another hotel, even though we had to go back to the hotel we fought in. So, in any way, we did the meetings, yeah. So, say we're doing the meeting, the real meeting. Just say it was at 1 o'clock. Just say, for example, I don't know exactly what time it was. The Martin goes, Deca, where's Dave? I goes, I don't know, I haven't seen him. He goes, we're gonna do a reels meeting. I'm gonna text him now. We'll do a reels meeting now. Gave him a text. He goes, David texts back, no problem. He showed up half an hour, 45 minutes later. He's up in his hotel resting for the reels meeting. So he was saying about a piece of paper wasn't signed. I goes, a piece of paper wasn't signed because you didn't agree on the rules yet. I signed it because they actually went through the rules for me and signed it, and I had to re-sit there again. I sit there again through the second time for David to come. So it was done there as well, you know what I mean? So we sat there. So not only he was late for his weigh-in, which he was blaming being 15 minutes away, even though I did the same drive. Now he was blaming that he was giving out about the rules meeting, even though we were sitting there for 20 minutes to a half an hour waiting for him to come down. So this bloke, the best way I could explain it, he kept on saying, this is a world title, new gloves. Yes, but you're going on like you're the WBC world champion. Never mind you're getting brought over as a opponent. Never mind that. Never mind there's no A side or B side. If that's even out of the equation, there's no home for it or away for it, that's out of the equation. You're still going on like you're a WBC world title champion, where you like your Canelo want to be treated with fucking unbelievable fucking courtesy, you know what I mean? So that's what I said. The meeting was the rules meeting were perfect. The check were the board ran through everything perfect. The gloves to me were fine, and I even said it to Annie. I could even send you over the Top Pro gloves. Now, I've told other people I'll send them off gloves. I could even send you out, and you could look at these yourself and put them in and say, these are perfect. Now, I don't have them here with me at the moment, but I'm away at the moment, and he's giving out about the gloves. So could I send them? And you could even look at them yourself, and he wasn't still happy with them. So I was like, what do you... Then he started moaning about, so like I said, about the money. So that was the end of that situation. He was gone. He didn't want to fight. He said that the gloves was a problem. Came up with so he had 6 gloves to choose from in the end. The gloves were the problem. Then the promoters were screaming at him, and the board didn't run through the right things, which were all perfectly fine, and I have on recording. He was moaning about his purse, which the purse was agreed with weeks ago. He was trying to me, it felt like he was trying to get more money out of me, you know what I mean? I told him, I said, what else do you want me to do, man? The hotel was a problem. His food money was a problem. It's the way I was bringing him, the way I was going to get him transported down, he wanted to do his own thing, so that was another problem. So this was all the things he caused trouble with, and then he was lying about this, my opponent not doing his medical and the UBO not passing. Yes, they did all that. They passed everything, you know what I mean? Everything was done. So then what else was there? Then I have a few things right down there. So the pound was 8 minutes. The gloves. They said the pound was. He said him and his missus actually DM me, and I'd actually like to send it to you private and you can read it. Start giving me abuse. Start as Mrs. I can't believe you've done this thing. So I'm like, I've done nothing. I've done everything I could do to try to make this work. Like I wanted to fight you. It's not like you wanted to fight me. I wanted to fight you. Like I'm paying you. Understandable. So he starts slandering, and him and his mister slandering my name on Facebook and all that, and I'm telling you the whole truth of the story. That is everything. He can't deny what I'm saying because this is the truth. So he turned around and started saying, like, his missus called me a rich kid. I worked a 9 to 5, not even a 9 to 5, an 8 to 5 for the last number of weeks. I'm talking about for weeks, and saved my bollocks off to pay for. Like I lost out just on him alone €800 between. Paying for his flights, his accommodation, his food money, his PCR test, I paid for luggage money. I lost out on 800 quid, and they're going, you're a rich kid. I'm like, I worked my bollocks off to get this fight. I'm telling you, I haven't been able to socialise. I haven't nothing I'm talking about. I wasn't even able to get food, go to the shop to get food. I had to buy food and cook it and bring it for lunch for food. I worked my bollocks off to save it because I only had one sponsor. I had 2 sponsors on board who paid for my kit. And that was it. Everything else I had to pay for him, then also pull up his money for his purse, as well as pay for me to get over there and then pay to be on the show, you know what I mean? So they're saying, you're nothing but a rich kid. I'm like, I work a 9 to 5. I work an 8. I was actually an 8 to 5. I've messages there where I couldn't even go sparring. I work from 8 to 8 some days to save me fucking money. My boss wanted to ask me could I do overtime. I was doing overtime. Sometimes I was actually missing sessions just to get the money up to fight this man, you know what I mean? And he's demanding ridiculous things out of me. I'm like, I turn around and goes, mate, I did say to him, goes to me, you're a journeyman. Let's be honest with you, it's not disrespectful to do 2 journeymen. Everyone has a job to do, you know what I mean? You're 12 and 8. It's a bad record. I'm 20 and 5, and I'm still have a bad record as well, you know what I mean? I'm not. I said to him, you're a journeyman. I goes, I have a journeyman record even as well, you know what I mean? Like, it's no disrespect, but it's the truth. You're going on like you're a fucking celebrity here. What do you want me to do? And he's playing the nice guy, brother this and brother that, and he was playing on it. This was for me son who passed away. Yes, I'm sorry that your son passed away. I really am. I understand. I've my own brother who's passed away, but he started trying to, like, you know, like I was dedicating this to my son. I was dedicating this to my brother who's passed away as well. I'm like, you're trying to pull on people's heartstrings here, you know what I mean? That's not my fault, and I'm really sorry that happened to you, but that's not my fault. And he's like, I missed my child's birth. I goes, that's not my fault. You took the fight. What's annoying you is that you didn't get treated like a celebrity like you think you should be treated, you know what I mean? That's why you're trying to pull on heartstrings by saying, I missed my child's birth. Yes, but you took the fight. That's not my fault. You know what I mean? For all I know, your missus could have gone early. What you're expecting, you thought you were going back. I don't know that you took the fight. So then he slandered my name, and then like he's saying about the gloves. The glove, like I fought on big shows, and I've never been a choice of 4 sets of gloves. I've never got choice of 4 sets. I get given a set of gloves, and that was the end of it. You know, and that's the truth. We're not big time. Like, the boxing's a poor man's sport, unless you're not that little descent. You're on them matchroom shows where you're getting looked after a little bit. This was a small hall show. It was paying for you. I'm not, my management team or my promoter ain't paying for you. I'm paying out my money where I've actually worked to get you here. And then he's like, he never once said about the gloves. He's saying, I think he said days ago he got told about this glove situation. Days ago, he couldn't have, because of, I got told we flew out the Thursday afternoon. I got told Wednesday night, the promoter goes, Declan, you're gonna have to bring over bring over sets of gloves, just in case as well, because he had 2 sets, but he knew just in case. And so he's saying days ago, shows the messages just to show that he's a liar. When enough shit he said days ago about, he got told about this days ago. So he came over the Thursday. I only got told the Wednesday night, and I actually ran around and I was on to his house. To have gloves. If not, I'm gonna have to go and try to buy a new pair of gloves. And it was Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, you know what I mean? So he's lying about that, you know what I mean? That goes to show you. So when he's saying about his weight made, the weight he weighed in at 63%, I don't believe it. I just think he's trying to slander the whole government body the promoter, the Czech government, I think he's just trying to slander all of them because of, I know he's lying about the gloves and he's lying about his €50 weight, his €50 food bill, and he's lying that he had to drive an hour and 40 minutes where it was not even 50 minutes to an hour we drove, you know what I mean? To where even, and we went to the same place and it was 8 minutes closer than, you know what I mean? So we're just lying about it all. So it's embarrassing. And
Declan,
now they've. Yeah.
I want to get a question in real quickly because it's we've got about 10 minutes
left
ahead. on the clock. Yeah. He said that he'd be open to fighting you again after all that's happened. Would you be open to fighting him?
Here's another thing. Yeah. So he sent it on to his manager, and I text back to his manager. No problem at all. I'm looking to get me 800 refunded first because of you would have to come over and pull that for. So then I heard nothing back. I'm talking to one of his sponsors because I thought he was all right, but his sponsor was all right, but he's a bit deluded himself because he's like, I was like, you told me he wanted to flip the coin, and now I'm agreeing to flip the coin, and now you're saying he wants to pick the gloves, and I'm saying pick the gloves. So, and the promoter still, so I go, I understand you're his sponsor, and you're probably our friends, so I'm sticking through him, even though he's in the wrong here. But so I said to the sponsor, I go, I've no problem fighting. Would you like me to? I'll tell Holland to fight me. Because pay me my €800 back. I'm not going to ask for mad money in there. He's saying if he's asking for 20 grand, mate, I don't have 20 grand or 10 grand to be offering for us. I know for a fact he doesn't have it either. And his sponsors ain't going to put that cost. So I turned around and said, no problem. Give me my €800 back what I should be given. And goes, we can work out a purse, which wouldn't be a mad purse for me to come over. As you want me to go as a pound, that's no problem. The sponsor turned around and goes, well, I'm not asking for the money we spent for the flights coming over. I'm like, that's not my fault the flight didn't go happen. We're not asking for the money or we missed out on flying over and accommodation. But you're looking for your money you spent on David. He goes, yeah, because I spent on David. It was your choice to come over. I brought Dave over. It was his choice. He pulled out the fight. So that's the kind of people I'm dealing with, you know what I mean? But he goes, but I text him, goes, give me an offer. And I still haven't heard back from the offer, you know what I mean? So he's lying. He's really lying, you know what I mean? I can send you screenshots of me turning around and saying, no problem, give me the €800 amount, which I do believe I should ask for that back after paying for his food bills, his accommodation, his flights, his luggage, his PCR test, and not fighting me. I do think if you want to fight me, I do deserve to get that back, and we can work out a course, no problem at all. This fella is a lawyer. He's a lawyer, and he's causing an awful lot of trouble with his lawyers. He's been trying to get on the box rec to get the show taken down. The whole show is trying to get taken down. Saying not even my opponent, the whole show is trying to get taken down. They're having the back and forward box rec. I know, that's what I'm dealing with. This fella, and what I'm telling you is all the truth. Like, I have footage on it. I reckon he's sick. I have footage of them where he's moaning about the gloves and me turning around saying, pick whatever gloves you want. I go second choice. Then saying, don't want the gloves. So this is the kind of people I'm dealing with. I'm not stressed over it. Like, I'm a kind of easygoing bloke. I didn't let it stress me out, but he's causing an awful lot of problems for someone who's a nobody. And I'm a nobody. I'm not saying I'm better than him. I'm a nobody too. But he's causing an awful lot of trouble. Like I said, he's emailed about to get the show taken down, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's saying my opponent was suspended. No, my opponent got suspended after. He's saying my opponent didn't do medicals. My opponent did do medicals because he was meant to fight on the show. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm dealing with.
It's quite a hectic experience, and I'm glad that I got your side as well, because like there's always two sides to a story, isn't there? You know, like you can capture one guy's side, he says his piece,
of course, and
I'm glad that you got your say as well.
And there's always in the middle.
And there's a middle, because like also from like a South African point of view, like we'd also like want to know what's going on, because like David's like South African fighter, so like obviously back home people are obviously forming an opinion, and they need to have both sides before they can actually, you know, be able to base and say something.
Yeah, but like I said, I actually have footage of the meeting and moaning about the gloves and me saying about the gloves, about okay, I have you can see the gloves in it. They were fine, but then I got new gloves because he still wasn't happy. Then he told me he has no coach. That's not my fault. You have no coach, is it? You have to do. That's your responsibility that your coach didn't walk down yet. You know what I mean? It's up to you to still fight. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? Even though I offered to give him my corner, man. You know what I mean? Like, what else do you want me to do, man? There was nothing more than do. It's like, this was unprofessional. No, it was unprofessional the way you carried yourself. Even down to the start of asking me for my scales to check your weight.
that alone started the thing of the talking about professionalism. That's what started it. You know what I mean? That alone, and his management team even knew how much hard work he was. You know what I mean? And I've done all the demands he asked for, and then even came up with more with the gloves, with another set of gloves, and he still wasn't happy. What do you want me to do? You want me to fight you? Hey, okay, David, I'll stop you, no problem. Because I would have stopped him. You're a journeyman. You're a journeyman. Like you're 12-8, man, and you're dictating you should have this and that. You're giving me like mad demands, no problem. Pay me my 800 quid you owe me, and we'll talk about it first. No problem. And I'll come to Holland, South Africa, Germany, wherever you're based. Come to Ireland if you want to. I don't care, man. I'm not worried about you. If I don't hear from him again, this ain't gonna bother me. It's Warren Duck's back. It's over my head. It's not gonna bother me. He's not gonna face me. This situation. Like, at the end of the day, I wanted to get the fights, a few cobwebs off the foot, or bigger things to come above. If this is a speed bump on the way and he wants to fight and offer me money, I'm happy to get paid. Come and pay me. Show me the money. And I'm there.